Some very, very charming man with great talent. I think I was in awe of him.
Now, before you do anything else, Jerry, introduce my song and make it lovely.
It's Academy Award time. He gets so carried away.
You couldn't get any hotter than he was. He was hot in nightclubs, he was hot on records, he was hot on television.
Okay, Dum-Dum, what'll it be?
Oh, I'll have the usual glass of milk. Are you sure this is my cue card right here?
Absolutely brilliant comedian. Perfect timing, perfect delivery. He's so great a comedian, it's a pity God gave him a singing voice.
Everybody falls in love somehow. Something in your kiss just told me that sometime is now. Everybody finds somebody someplace.
He had more guts, more courage, more dignity, and carried himself with the kind of aplomb that most men never even dream about.
There's nothing phony about the man. I mean, that's it. You look at this guy and you go, hey, he's having a good time.
The smart people.
The smart people.
Yes.
Yes. And what's the major problem confronting our universities in, like,
The smart people. You know, I never thought of that.
That's because you're dumb like me.
What is this here? There happens to be a little food. Little food, F-U-D. We're doing 6 shows a night here. We're hungry. How many? Well, 2 here, 4 in the room. That's 6, Daddy. I don't care where you count it.
For almost half a century, first as partners with Jerry Lewis, then on his own, or with legendary friends like Frank Sinatra, Dean got paid for having fun. He was America's favorite swinger.
Oh, don't be nervous, folks. Dean is fine. He just fell in the wine cellar, that's all.
Why women in the song? I mean, what else is there to say about me? I love to sing, and I love women.
The Dean Martin story started in 1913, when Gaetano Cricchetti was sent a ticket to America from his brother Giuseppe in Steubenville, Ohio. Gaetano found work as a barber, and not long after, fell in love with Angela Barra, another recent arrival from Italy. In 1914, they were married. 2 years later, they had their first child, Guillermo, William. The following summer, on June 7, 1917, they had another son, Dino Paul. With his father making up to $50 a week as a barber, Dean never wanted for anything. He had his own bike, nice clothes, and was even a member of the Boy Scouts. But Steubenville was a tough town, a town of steel mills and coal mines, and Dean's neighborhood was a tough one. At first, some of the other kids thought the sharp-looking, well-mannered Dino was a sissy, until they got into a fight with him and found out he was no mama's boy. At 16, he wanted to quit school because he felt he knew more than his teachers. Now, out on his own, Dean began boxing as a welterweight under the name Kid Crochet.
He was a pretty good boxer, but he was a poor boxer. As a matter of fact, as he said, he was such a poor boxer, sounded like a routine, that he didn't have enough money for tape to tape up his knuckles, so all his knuckles were broken. Every time he hit a guy, the knuckles would split a little bit.
After 18 bouts, Dean gave up the ring and went to work as a clerk in a cigar store. The place wasn't just selling tobacco. In the back was a gambling casino. Dean soon graduated from clerk to croupier. When his aunts found out what Dino was doing, they told his mother he'd end up a gangster and die in the electric chair. She'd tell them they were crazy. Her son was going to be a star. Dean had never stopped singing. One of his heroes was Bing Crosby. Whenever a Crosby picture came to town, Dino was there.
Just one more word. I said that I was glad to start out.
Everybody copied Bing, and then in time, they developed their own style, but it was the man, Bing, he started it all.
I guess you played the dog game o'er and o'er.
But there was another singer Dean also idolized as a kid, Harry Mills of the Mills Brothers.
You just quarreled with Sue, that's why you're blue.
Harry Mills was just a marvelous, easygoing kind of performer. Years later, when Dean and I were talking about something one day about singing styles and everything else, he said, he said it was Harry Mills that really was responsible for some of the mannerisms, he said, that I picked up.
After work, Dean and his friends would hang out at the clubs in town. His buddies would always make him get up and sing with the band. And he was pretty good. By 1938, he was getting offers to sing professionally with local bands. He also got his first stage name, Dino Martini. It had nothing to do with a fondness for the drink. There was a popular opera singer named Nino Martini, and Dean wanted to cash in. As the 40s began, Dean was on the air and on the road with Cleveland band leader Sammy Watkins.
Here is the Sammy Watkins medley to match the season. Jingle Bells, Silent Night, and Dean Martin singing White Christmas.
It was Sammy who changed Dino's name to Dean Martin. And from the start, Dean loved getting laughs as much as hearing applause. Even then, he'd kid around with songs.
Handsome guy started to come down the stairs to a bolero tempo of Temptation. Handsome, was so good looking, and he starts to sing Temptation. Yous came, I was alone, I should have known, yous was temptation. I fell off the chair.
In December of 1943, Dean got his first important break, an offer to follow Frank Sinatra, the biggest singer of the decade, into the swank Rio Bamba nightclub in New York. Although Dean got good reviews, he wasn't the smash Frank was, but the two singers became good friends.
Well,